Greetings, dear viewers, and a warm welcome to this in-depth exploration of World War I, a defining epic that reshaped the course of humanity. Over the next 30 minutes, we will immerse ourselves in the annals of history, unfurling the story of a global conflict that engulfed the world from 1914 to 1918. It was a time when empires clashed, ideologies clashed, and the world stood on the precipice of unparalleled transformation. Join us as we navigate the intricate landscape of World War I, attempting to understand its profound impact on subsequent generations and the trajectory of international relations. World War I was a crucible of change, a cataclysmic event born from the cauldron of pre-existing tensions. As we embark on this historical journey, we will traverse the realms of causality, exploring the deep-seated factors that plunge the world into chaos. Nationalism, the fervent love for one's nation, and the desire for self-determination. Militarism, the insatiable arms race that stoked the fires of conflict. Imperialism, the voracious appetite for expansion and dominance. And the intricate web of alliances, an intricate dance of political entanglements, all played pivotal roles in the events leading up to the war. And at the heart of it all, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in the summer of 1914, serving as a catalyst that propelled the world into the maelstrom. In the following segments, we will delve deeper into the nuances of these causes, unearthing the motivations and circumstances that set the stage for the tragedy that unfolded. We'll then navigate through the major players and alliances, the war fronts and strategies employed, the impact on civilians caught in the crossfire, and the lasting repercussions that echo through history. By the end of this journey, we hope to shed light on not only the history of World War I, but also the invaluable lessons it holds for us as a global society, striving for peace and understanding amidst the echoes of the past. Causes of World War I. To grasp the genesis of World War I, we must delve into a complex interplay of historical, political, and socio-economic factors that set the stage for this devastating global conflict. The early 20th century was a time of burgeoning industrialization, rapid technological advancements, and fervent nationalism. Europe, a hotbed of imperial ambitions and long-standing rivalries, was a tinderbox waiting for a spark. Let's embark on an intricate journey to understand the multifaceted causes that propelled the world into one of its darkest chapters. Nationalism. Nationalism, a potent force in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, was a driving factor. European nations were imbued with a sense of pride and loyalty toward their own countries. However, this fervor often escalated into an intense competition, heightening tensions and creating an us versus them mentality. Each nation vied for its place in the sun, fostering an environment ripe for conflict. Militarism. Militarism was another key component, where nations engaged in an arms race, bolstering their military capabilities to assert dominance. Governments allocated significant resources to build up their armed forces, resulting in a precarious balance of power. The proliferation of modern weapons and military strategies fueled an atmosphere of insecurity and preparedness for war. Imperialism. The era was defined by imperialism, a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization or military force. European powers, eager to expand their territories and influence, engaged in ruthless competition for colonies and resources across the globe. This scramble for colonies heightened rivalries and added fuel to the brewing conflict. War fronts and strategies. World War I was characterized by a complex and multifaceted theater of conflict that spanned various regions. The strategies employed and the war fronts that emerged during this time were pivotal in shaping the outcome of the war. Let's take a closer look at the intricacies of these war fronts and the strategies adopted by the belligerent nations. Western Front. The Western Front was a key theater of conflict, stretching from the Swiss border to the North Sea. Characterized by trench warfare, both sides, primarily the Allies, led by France, UK, and later the USA, and the Central Powers, led by Germany, entrenched themselves in elaborate defensive systems. The front remained largely static, marked by devastating battles such as Verdun and the Somme. Eastern Front. The Eastern Front encompassed a vast stretch of territory, extending from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. It was a more fluid and mobile front compared to the Western Front. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire faced off against Russia and later in the war, Romania. The Eastern Front witnessed large-scale movements, with major battles like Tannenberg and the Brusilov Offensive. Other theaters of war. Apart from the Western and Eastern fronts, World War I was fought on various other fronts. The Southern Front witnessed battles between Austria-Hungary and Italy, while the Middle Eastern Front saw conflict involving the Ottoman Empire, British forces, and Arab rebels. Additionally, naval warfare, especially the Battle of Jutland, played a significant role. Military strategies and tactics. The military strategies and tactics evolved as the war progressed. At the outset, there was a belief in quick, decisive battles. However, the reality of modern warfare, with technologies like machine guns, artillery, and poison gas, necessitated a shift to more defensive strategies. Trench warfare became the norm, characterized by fortified lines and complex systems of trenches. The war fronts and strategies employed during World War I reflect the clash between traditional warfare methods and the modern technologies of the era. The next segments will delve deeper into the impact of this brutal conflict on civilians and how the war redefined the rules of engagement and the face of warfare itself. Impact on civilians. World War I, often referred to as the Great War, was not confined to battlefields and soldiers. It reached far beyond, seeping into the lives of innocent civilians, leaving an indelible mark on their homes, families, and communities. In this segment, we will explore the profound and far-reaching impact this devastating conflict had on civilians. Loss of life and displacement. The loss of life during World War I was staggering. Millions of civilians lost their lives due to the direct and indirect consequences of the war. Families were torn apart, communities shattered, and the loss of a generation left a deep scar on society. Moreover, the war resulted in large-scale displacement as people were forced to abandon their homes due to the conflict and seek safety in other regions or countries. Economic hardship. The war led to unprecedented economic strain on civilians. Many found themselves in dire financial circumstances as the war disrupted industries, trade, and employment opportunities. Inflation soared, and the cost of living skyrocketed, placing immense burdens on families already grappling with the loss of loved ones and the challenges of displacement. Psychological trauma. The psychological trauma endured by civilians during World War I was immense. The constant threat of bombings, shelling, and the overall uncertainty of the times took a toll on mental health. Many suffered from what was then known as shell shock, now recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. The scars of the war lingered long after the guns fell silent, affecting generations. The impact of World War I on civilians cannot be overstated. The war left a deep and lasting mark on families, societies, and nations. The subsequent segments will delve into the diplomatic aftermath of the war, the Treaty of Versailles, and the legacy of this monumental conflict that shaped the course of the 20th century. Treaty of Versailles and aftermath. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, marked the end of World War I and attempted to establish a new world order. However, it would prove to be a contentious and deeply flawed document, laying the groundwork for simmering tensions that would eventually ignite into another global conflict. Let's delve into the intricacies of this treaty and the consequential aftermath that shaped the 20th century. Terms of the treaty. The Treaty of Versailles imposed significant punitive measures on Germany, holding them chiefly responsible for the war. Germany was forced to cede territory, pay massive reparations, and limit the size of its military. The Alsace-Lorraine region was returned to France, and substantial portions of German territory were ceded to other nations. Additionally, the treaty placed the blame for the war squarely on Germany's shoulders. Economic and political impact. The economic burden imposed by the reparations and the loss of territory had a severe impact on Germany. The German economy was in shambles, and the harsh conditions set by the treaty led to widespread poverty and resentment among the German populace. Politically, the treaty's terms fueled extremism and nationalist sentiments, setting the stage for the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Long-term consequences. The Treaty of Versailles planted the seeds for World War II. The economic and political destabilization of Germany, coupled with the humiliation of being blamed for the war, created a ripe breeding ground for extremist ideologies. The rise of totalitarian regimes, such as Nazi Germany, was a direct result of the harsh repercussions of the treaty. The Second World War, more devastating and widespread than the First, would soon follow. The Treaty of Versailles stands as a somber reminder of the complexities of peace agreements and the importance of fostering a just and sustainable peace after conflict. In the upcoming segments, we will explore the legacy of both world wars, the lessons learned, and how they have shaped the world we live in today. Legacy and lessons. The legacy of World War I is profound and far-reaching, shaping the course of history and laying the foundation for the turbulent 20th century. In this segment, we will explore the lasting impact of the Great War and the vital lessons we can draw from this monumental event. Redrawing of borders and geopolitical shifts. World War I led to a significant redrawing of national borders, dismantling empires and creating new nations. The Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires were disintegrated, and nations like Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia emerged. These changes transformed the geopolitical landscape of Europe and the Middle East, setting the stage for future conflicts. Economic and technological advancements. The war spurred technological and economic advancements, albeit at a tremendous human cost. Innovations in medicine, aviation, and warfare emerged from the necessity of the battlefield. The war acted as a catalyst for industrialization, driving economic growth and setting the stage for the Roaring Twenties. Societal and cultural shifts. The trauma and disillusionment of World War I left an indelible mark on society and culture. The Lost Generation, a term coined to describe a generation deeply affected by the war, questioned traditional values and societal norms. This era saw the rise of modernist movements in art, literature, and philosophy. The lessons from World War I are invaluable. It serves as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the importance of diplomacy, conflict resolution, and international cooperation. The failure of the Treaty of Versailles in maintaining a lasting peace underscores the necessity of fostering just and equitable post-war agreements. As we reflect on the legacy of World War I, we must strive to build a world where dialogue, understanding, and diplomacy prevail over conflict. In our final segment, we will summarize the key takeaways from this historical journey and encourage you to delve deeper into the rich tapestry of world history, understanding the past to shape a brighter future. Conclusion. As we conclude this exploration of World War I, we find ourselves standing at the crossroads of history, reflecting on an epoch that forever altered the trajectory of humanity. The Great War, with its labyrinthine causes, immense suffering, and profound consequences, remains a poignant reminder of the cost of conflict and the imperative for peace. Reflection on the journey. Our journey has unraveled the complex tapestry of World War I, exposing the factors that plunged the world into chaos and the reverberations that persisted long after the guns fell silent. From the geopolitical intricacies to the lives of civilians caught in the storm of war, we've sought to understand the myriad dimensions of this global conflagration. Relevance and lessons for today. Even a century later, the lessons from World War I remain deeply pertinent. The importance of diplomacy, conflict resolution, and international cooperation cannot be overstated. The devastating consequences of this war underscore the necessity of fostering a global community that prioritizes peace, understanding, and cooperation. Encouragement for further exploration. We encourage you to delve deeper into the annals of history, not just focusing on the wars, but also on the stories of resilience, courage, and the human spirit. By understanding our past, we can navigate the present with wisdom and shape a more harmonious future. As we reflect on World War I, may we all strive to build a world where dialogue triumphs over discord and compassion over conflict. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey through World War I. May we honor the memory of those who lived through this tumultuous era by working towards a world where peace and understanding reign supreme. Until next time, take care and embrace the lessons of history.